Yo, what's up, guys? This is Witty98 2000. I'm on my YouTube account, and this is where you're hearing it from, obviously. And I'm just going to run down my thoughts on WrestleMania 29. Okay, the show opens with a Shield defeating Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Big Show. It was a pretty solid match. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. They are definitely the future of this company, and I thought it was a good outing. Mark Henry beat Ryback. Stupid decision. Ryback should have easily gone over Mark Henry. It was a stupid ending, and I don't know what they have in store for Ryback. It's kind of weird at the moment. He's taking losses over the Shield, now Mark Henry, and he got eliminated by Cena in the Rumble, so I'm extremely confused. Is this, the stars of the future, or is it just the same old John Cena, corporate kissing ass show? I don't know what it is. Team Hell No defeated Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston. Pretty solid match, not much to it really, just kind of to fit these old guys into the show. I think that was the purpose of this match. It was okay. Fandango defeated Chris Jericho. To be honest, it was a pretty good, solid little match. Fandango, Johnny Curtis, the guy who portrays Fandango, I thought he was he's actually a pretty good little solid wrestler, and I thought Fandango and Jericho had a decent match for sure, but Fandango went over on Jericho. Hopefully Jericho can get the win in Extreme Rules, and they can kind of do like a little rivalry, because Fandango, Johnny Curtis, the worker, he's a pretty decent worker, and yeah, I thought it was a good little match. Del Rio defeated Swagger. I thought it was pretty boring. The only thing that would have saved this is if Ziggler came down to cash in the Money in the Bank, but he didn't, so I thought it was really boring. The crowd didn't seem into it either. It was just boring. I don't know. It's just Del Rio with his, I just don't get it. Look, I know I've been reading through the results and going through, because I had a recording of another thing of the show, but it got deleted, so I had to restart on recording the show again. But anyways, I don't get why WWE keep persisting with Alberto Del Rio. It's obviously Vince McMahon, because no one really cares. I don't know. I don't get it about Del Rio. But it was a pretty type of match. It wasn't really that big, but yeah. But the first half of the show, just to cover it all, the Shield with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I thought those three guys were impressive on the night. Very impressive, great talents, very good talents, and they're definitely going to be the future of the company in the next 3 to 4 years, maybe even 2 or 3 years. Hell, could be tomorrow. You don't know. Oh yeah, Mark Henry beat Ryback. Didn't make any sense at all. I thought Ryback should have gone over the much younger guy. Ryback, that is. Mark Henry's in his 40s. Ryback's a much younger guy. Should have gone over. Made no sense. It was a weird ending. Mark Henry landed on him. Like when Ryback was going for the shell shock, Mark Henry grabbed onto the ropes and just landed on him, pancaked him. So that was kind of a weird ending. Then he got then he got the pinfall on Ryback after he pancaked him onto the mat. So really weird ending. It's really weird. Anyways, Team Hell No defeated Ziggler and Big E Langston. Team Hell No consisting of obviously Kane and Daniel Bryan. They were the champions going in, and they went out as the champions going out of the show and out of the match from WrestleMania. Good little decent match, good little decent match. I think it was just to fit these guys on the show, and they just put them on this tag match. Big E Langston was his first WrestleMania. I thought he was. I thought he did pretty good for a big dude. I guess he's more tolerable than a Great Khali or anything, so he's better than that. And Fandango and Jericho, good little match. Johnny Curtis is a good worker, but Jericho really made him look good, in my opinion. Jericho is a phenomenal wrestler, always has been actually. And yeah, Del Rio and Swagger, it was kind of boring. I didn't really get into it. But I think Zeb Coulter's a really, really, really good talent. He's making Swagger look like $1 million at the moment. Zeb Coulter's really carrying that whole Republican nutcase, Tea Party, Sarah Palin type mentality gimmick. Really good. I just think Zeb Coulter's a really good actor as well as a, just wrestling talent overall. And yeah, onto the second half of the show. Kind of the second half, but the last 3 main events. Taker and Punk. Very good match. I thought Paul Heyman added... Excuse me. My bad. I thought Paul Heyman added just another dimension to this match. Paul Heyman just added that dimension of, like, what's Heyman going to do? Is Heyman going to distract Undertaker? Is he going to do this? And some of that did come into play with Heyman blocking Undertaker off from diving onto Punk from the inside to the outside of the ring. I thought it was a really good pace match, and Taker and Punk put on a good show. You know who was going to win, and but I kind of had it in the back of my head that Taker was going to win after all the treatment of Paul Bearer for the last 3 to 4 weeks. So. Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Yeah, I thought Taker and Punk did a good job, and yeah, good. Probably definitely the best match of the show. Definitely the best match of the show, and the crowd was into it, and the crowd never really came back, and I thought that was a good way for Punk to say, fuck you. I should be in the main event, and Punk should have been in the main event. Same with The Undertaker. Those two should have been headlining the show, but nevertheless, Vince McMahon's just a senile old prick. Next is Triple H defeating Brock Lesnar. Well, Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, but obviously Triple H defeated Brock Lesnar, and I thought it was really boring. The crowd was out of it. The last 3 minutes was when the crowd got amped up, because Triple H had the Kimura arm lock on Lesnar, and I just wasn't buying that at all. Triple H is not some UFC guy. It's just annoying. It's almost like Vince's way of saying, yeah, fuck you, Vince just lives in this bubble where he doesn't see the outside world for what it is. I think Vince has gone fucking insane. Triple H should not have gone over Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar should have gone over Triple H. Triple H should have gone off in the sunset and have been gone for good. And that would have been, and with Triple H going off in the sunset, that would have been no more bearing of young talent. So that would have been fantastic. But Triple H goes over, as always, and Brock Lesnar should have won. It's just stupid. And anyways, the main event, John Cena defeated The Rock. Boring match, really boring. I was watching it, and this is really surreal, but after Taker and Punk, it just felt like I wasn't watching WrestleMania. It felt like I was watching not even a Raw episode. It felt like I felt like a Raw, but like a Raw where the crowd is dead. Like, say if like Raw was in like Corpus Christi, Texas, like that kind of Raw. It was really just quiet. The crowd, like for a New Jersey, New York crowd, it was a pretty quiet crowd for these last 2 main events, and I thought it was well deserved. All Cena needed was a boring chant. It would have been great, but Cena beat The Rock. I saw it coming. No heel turn happened. It should have happened for the better of the company, and it could have done a lot for great young talent coming through. It could have done, talent like Ziggler. Pardon me. With Cena turning heel, it could do a lot for guys like a Seth Rollins, a Dolph Ziggler, even a CM Punk. The list goes on and on and on. Even have Sheamus and Orton going up against him as a heel. Just a lot of exciting new programs that people would have, and The Undertaker, like they could have had Taker and Punk, with Taker and Cena, with Cena being the heel. So it's just Cena needs to turn heel. I wish I could give more analysis on this match, but Cena beat him with the AA. It was just back and forth finishes, and it was just really boring. I don't know what to say, and I hate to say that. I fucking hate to say that, but it was boring, and I couldn't get into it at all. I don't know, it's just weird. It was just boring, but anyways, I give WrestleMania a 6 out of 10, just for the Shield, Daniel Bryan, Ziggler, and the Taker and Punk match. If it wasn't for those things, and I don't know. And Fandango and Jericho was a good little okay match. It was Fandango and Jericho was an okay match, but mostly the Shield, Punk, Ziggler, Bryan, and the little good Fandango and Jericho match. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah, not really. It was weird. But anyways, the next on a Raw, which is a much better show. Okay, the show starts out. It starts with Cena coming out. A massive Cena sucks chant starts up. Cena says he feels good tonight, and Cena goes, "Oh, did you want a heel turn?" And then moves his heel, and that was just, it's just annoying. Cena's just trolling the audience, and it's just irritating. It's, I don't know, it's like Vince has had a touch, and Cena's just, I think Cena's just selfish or something. It's we need a change. The crowd starts chanting same old shit, exactly what I was thinking, and still think right now. Mark Henry came out, it was boring, no one cares about Mark Henry. You know, maybe if, you know, Ziggler came out, then that would have got a, you know, pretty good reaction from the crowd, but that would have made no sense. But neither does Mark Henry coming out. What do we really want to see? John Cena versus giant number, 1,000, a billion, zillion, you know? Who wants to see Cena versus a fucking giant again? You know, it's been so overdone, you know, with Khali, Umaga, what other giants has he faced? You know, now Henry's going to be fed to Cena. You know, Henry comes out saying he beat Ryback last night. He destroyed Ryback last night. And, Cena's in for some trouble and shit, I don't know. Booker T comes out and he says if Henry can beat Cena, then he's the number one contender for the title. And then Booker T also says that The Rock won't be here tonight because he's injured. A bullshit chant breaks out. Yeah, you know, with The Rock not being there, that's kind of weird, but, you know, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. The Rock's been kind of he hasn't been even really been decent since 2011. He's just been really the Rock's a sellout as far as I'm concerned. The Rock, you know, held hands with Cena at WrestleMania. Something I forgot to mention because I was just appalled at how shitty WrestleMania was. But The Rock started holding hands with Cena. He may as well start taking it in the ass by Cena. I mean, The Rock's a sellout as far as I'm concerned. So I couldn't really care about that. Anyways, yep. And Cena also said to Henry, he said Henry has the breath of 100 asses, and it was his corny shit. No one cares. The crowd was shitting all over it, which I thought was great. Daniel Bryan and Big E Langston. Daniel Bryan wins. Oh no, Big E Langston wins. Sorry. Yeah. Whatever. Barrett beats Miz for the Intercontinental title, and I thought it was a good match. Actually, really good. It's more character development for Wade Barrett because it really shows his his street fighting style, and it shows, you know, his heel tendencies to get a victory with him smashing Miz's head on the ring post, the top of the ring post. So Barrett hits the Bullhammer elbow for the win and gets the championship back. Okay, now the exciting part of the show. Swagger and Coulter versus Del Rio. Del Rio wins, but after, holy shit, you know, everyone's chanting for Ziggler. And, you know, I'm here to show the world. It plays, and it's like, yes! Oh my god, that made up for all the shitty, well, most of the shitty matches at WrestleMania. And it was just, oh my god, it was awesome. Ziggler comes out. You know, I thought for a minute, oh no, they're going to have Del Rio go over Ziggler. No. But he broke out of the arm breaker. And Ziggler hit the zigzag for the win. Wins the world title, and it was great. And Ziggler heavily deserves that. Heavily deserves it. Ziggler's been working his ass off for the past 3.5, 4 years. Ziggler should have had this last year. Or the year before. You know, Ziggler's been working his ass off. And Ziggler's just an all-round great wrestler. Yeah, the crowd went crazy. The crowd was going so crazy. It was almost like a Stone Cold or a Rock victory in the Attitude Era. Or like CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. It was awesome. I loved it. Ziggler heavily deserved it. Congratulations. Yeah, just awesome. And just to add a side note, the crowd really makes it show, especially another Sheamus Orton match, which I'll talk about in a bit. It's hilarious. But anyways, after that, next segment, Taker comes out, makes his way to the ring, you know, says some stuff about Paul Bearer, you know, rest in peace Paul Bearer. But then he's interrupted by the Shield. The Shield come out, but then Kane and Bryan come for the save. So that's really interesting, you know. Will they go for a Hell No in Taker match against the Shield, which would be great because the Shield would, you know, they would do a lot of great work with Taker because Taker would do a good job of putting those guys over, unlike someone else, you know, with the shovel and the sledgehammer, you know, that guy, yeah. But you know, yeah, Taker would work great with the Shield, and I think those guys, especially those three, especially Dean Ambrose, they would work great with Undertaker, and yeah, definitely a good little segment there. But the Shield backed off. They didn't fight with Taker, Kane, and Bryan, so hopefully it can build up to something. But once I read the SmackDown results, it's kind of a change of the tune. So I know, yeah. Anyways. Some jobber match between 3MB and Morello and Truth and Ryder. Yeah, Morello and his pardon me, Santino Morello and his team wins. Who cares? Sheamus and Big Show's on, and holy shit, this is hilarious. The crowd starts chanting. Oh my god. The fans started chanting at first. Boring. A massive RVD chant just broke out, and I thought it was great. The fans even chanted for JBL, and JBL, like, his face expression was just like, wow, like, it was hilarious. And they started chanting for Jerry Lawler, and then Michael Cole, and Randy Orton just looked pissed off, but I thought it was hilarious. And yeah, it was great. The crowd, this is great. Like, this is what should happen more. Don't, okay, chant Orton sucks and Sheamus sucks, whatever, chant boring and stuff, but this crowd was so cool, and like, it was almost like it was almost like a Martin Luther King peaceful way of telling Vince, your product fucking sucks, we want change, with the whole RBD chants, chanting for the commentators, even making a chant for Mike Chioda, Cotton Candy, and a thank you Big Show chant. That was some of the funniest shit ever. I think it was the biggest ovation Big Show's probably had. I think it is, ever since his debut against Austin, but holy shit. That was hilarious. Yeah, I thought it was great. The crowd was great. The crowd made that segment awesome, and Big Show just beat up Orton, and yeah, I don't care. Fandango beat Kofi Kingston by DQ. Jericho beat the shit out of him. During or after the match, because the ref didn't really ring the bell, but he did. But but the best thing about this was when Fandango's music was on, the crowd started humming and dancing to his theme song, which I thought was great. And just to mention to you guys, the Fandango theme song is actually like doing really good in the charts in the UK at the moment. I think probably in the US, and it's pretty funny. But Fandango's a good little solid worker, I guess, like a good solid worker. He'll probably have a nice little future in the company, but he's okay. But the whole phenomenon, pardon me, the phenomenon of people singing his theme song will probably live for a long time, and I thought it was hilarious. That crowd again really made this show. It's almost like, what's that saying? You can't polish a turd, but somehow this crowd managed to polish a turd. It was pretty amazing. So yeah, I thought it was a good. I thought the crowd was hilarious and really good. Yeah, the Bella Twins and this is the match that was pulled from Mania. Yeah, the Bella Twins, Cody Rhodes, Sando versus Clay Tensai or Sweet Tea. I don't know, and the Cameron and Naomi, that they won the match. Who cares? Okay, it's the main event. Mark Henry versus John Cena. John Cena won by countout, which is weird. And after the match, Ryback comes down, beats the shit out of Mark Henry. Then Ryback extends his hand out to Cena, and the whole crowd's like, no, just booing at Ryback, and he beats the shit out of Cena. And the show ends with "Feed Me Yours." Wait. What was the chant? Oh my god, the crowd was so hilarious. Feed me more chants. That's it. Feed me yours. What was I thinking? But anyways, yeah, they feed me more chants were going up for Ryback at the end. To me, going through the results, like looking at the matches, it's like, wow, this is a pretty horrible show, with the exception of the Ziggler win. But man, the crowd really made the show, and of course the Shield and Undertaker segment with Kane and Bryan, that was cool. And the Barrett IC title win. But other than that, the crowd, the Shield and Taker, the Ziggler title win, and the Barrett Miz match. That was really the only good thing about the show. And yeah, I thought Raw was pretty good. I give Raw an 8 out of 10 because of the crowd and some of the segments and matches. It was a good little show. Anyway, on to Smackdown now. Smackdown kicks off with Dolph Ziggler coming out and celebrating his win, but then Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter come out. You know, Ziggler tells him to cut the music. It's his time. Then comes Del Rio. He wants his rematch. Blah blah blah. And then Del Rio's like, "Hasta la vista, baby." It's like, what the? It's almost like, what the fuck is? It's like he's the Mexican hero, and now he's the Del Rio-nator. I mean, what the fuck is going on with Stephanie in a shitty creative department? I mean, look, I know they're from Hollywood, but do you really have to rip Hollywood movie ideas off? I see a fucking James Cameron lawsuit coming up soon. I think that's the guy's name, James Cameron. Yeah, that guy's gonna sue the fuck out of them soon if Del Rio starts using Hasta la Vista a lot. But that was weird. But then came Jericho. So Jericho came out, so that was really cool. And Jericho vs Ziggler was announced, and Ziggler kind of chucked the tantrum, and so did AJ, because Jericho got the crowd to chant that AJ is crazy, and I thought that was pretty neat and funny. But yeah, it just really shows the difference between Jericho, Swagger, and Del Rio. Jericho is just a really good talent. I'm just glad he's still around to kind of help out young guys like Ziggler and Punk and The Shield. And even Fandango, I guess, but that's Vince's little pet project. But Jericho seems like a pretty cool guy. He's putting over, like a Dancing with the Stars gimmick. But yeah, the next segment or match was Kane and Daniel Bryan defeating Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Then the Shield appeared on the big screen and threatened Kane and Bryan. A lot of squash matches in between that. Triple H came out. Oh my god, this is my worst nightmare. Triple H came out, talk about how he was an ass-kicking machine, clearly ripping off of Brock Lesnar. Because I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar had a similar, mantle of names, and the ass kicker was one of them. So Triple H just, it's just Vince trying to make sure that wrestling looks better than MMA or something. Some really weird thing he has in his head. Then 3MB came out, and Heath Slater came out. Like, Heath Slater is like the biggest jobber ever. He's like, I'm Heath Slater. But that's Heath Slater. I'm Heath Slater. And he's a freaking retard. And 3MB come out, but then thank God, the Shield come out and they dismantle 3MB, beat the fuck out of them. Then they surround the ring. But then again, Team Hell No come down, and I don't know. It was just I don't want Triple H anywhere near the Shield, but knowing Triple H, he probably will. Oh my god, Triple H probably will bury the Shield if he gets the opportunity. But and yeah. Oh, Big Show versus Sheamus and Randy Orton in a handicap match. Big Show just walked away, and Orton and Sheamus won by count out. I don't think anyone cares about this at all. No one really cares about the Big Show and Sheamus and Orton. It was just boring, and Orton should be heel or something just to refresh him. It's just, I don't know. I don't care about the Big Show, and Big Show's turned heel, more times than Sylvester Stallone's been in Rocky sequels. So, it's boring. Squash match between Kingston and Cesaro, Fandango. The fans start chanting his theme song again, which is pretty funny. And that leads to the Ziggler and Chris Jericho match. And it was a really good match, really, really, really tight and good. It's cool. Ziggler won from interference from Fandango and Biggie Langston. He hit the zigzag for the 1, 2, 3. Fandango comes in, attacks Jericho, and the show ends with the crowd singing Fandango's theme song, which is hilarious. Yeah, again, it was pretty hilarious. I thought it was great. Overall, this week of wrestling, it was pretty good. Ziggler winning the world title, the Shield having possible programs with a trio of either Triple H and Taker and Team Hell No. that'll be interesting in the next coming weeks. CM Punk didn't get to say what he needed to get to say, because Heyman said on the segment in Raw that Punk will explain himself on today's edition of Raw, actually. So that'll be interesting. I'll make sure to cover Raw when it's on. But yeah, really interesting. What Punk will have to say. Maybe it might lead to Lesnar attacking him and leading up to a SummerSlam Survivor Series program. Actually, I'm calling it now, guys. Punk versus Lesnar for a SummerSlam to Survivor Series program. I'm calling it right now. Lesnar is going to get attacked by Punk, leading to a Punk kind of tweener turn, kind of like the 2011 Punk in the summer, against Lesnar. That's what I'm predicting. And Heyman will side with Lesnar. And yeah, we'll get a Punk versus Lesnar program in the summer, which would be pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm interested in what Punk has to say tonight. The segment with the Shield, sorry if I sound a bit weird then, I don't know why I sound like that. But yeah, that's just me. But yeah, the segment tonight with the Shield should be interesting to see what happens with them and Team Hell No and a possible third opponent. That'll be very interesting. And just more of the aftermath from Dolph Ziggler winning the world title from Del Rio. We'll probably get some Del Rio versus Ziggler program. You know, because Del Rio of all people deserves a world title program when he hasn't been over with the crowd for years. You know, like 2 years to be precise. So you know, Raw's gonna be interesting, and I'm calling it right now. A Punk versus Lesnar program will happen at SummerSlam, which will the seeds will be planted tonight for it. I promise. Anyways, yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and I'll be sure to give my thoughts on Raw today. Thanks, guys. Peace, and yeah, take care, guys.